Have you ever lived next to someone who made your skin crawl? Someone whose eerie presence turned your peaceful home into a house of dread? This is the chilling true story of a neighbor so terrifying, it'll make you double-check your locks tonight. Stick around to find out what happened when their dark secrets finally unraveled. In a quiet suburban neighborhood in a Tier 1 country, think places like the USA, UK, Canada or Australia, where neat lawns and friendly waves were the norm, lived Sarah, a single mother of 2. She had moved to Willow Lane seeking a fresh start after a tough divorce. The house was perfect, a cozy 2-story with a small garden, just right for her kids, Emma and Liam. The neighbors were warm, always ready with a smile or a plate of cookies, all except one, Mr. Grayson, the man next door. From the moment Sarah met him, something felt off. Mr. Grayson was a tall, gaunt man in his late 50s, with hollow eyes that seemed to stare right through you. His house was the odd one out, peeling paint, overgrown weeds and curtains always drawn tight. He rarely spoke, but when he did, his voice was low and raspy, like he was hiding something. The neighborhood kids called his place the haunted house, but Sarah brushed it off as childish imagination. Still, she couldn't shake the unease that settled in her gut. Every time she passed his creaky gate, it started small. At night, Sarah would hear strange noises, soft thumps, like footsteps, or the faint sound of something dragging across the floor. She'd check her windows, but nothing was ever out of place. Emma began complaining about nightmares, saying she saw a shadow standing outside her window, watching her. Liam, usually a bubbly kid, grew quiet, refusing to play in the backyard because he said, "The man next door stares too much." Sarah tried to reassure them, but deep down, she felt it too, a creeping dread that Mr. Grayson was more than just a grumpy recluse. One evening, while Sarah was tucking the kids into bed, she heard a loud crash from outside. Heart pounding, she peered through the living room window. In the dim glow of the streetlight, she saw Mr. Grayson standing in his driveway, motionless, staring directly at her house. In his hand was a shovel, and at his feet was a broken flower pot. Its soil spilled across the pavement. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. She locked every door and window, her hands trembling, and stayed up all night, clutching her phone. The next morning she mustered the courage to confront him. She knocked on his door, but no one answered. The house was eerily silent, yet she felt eyes on her, as if someone was watching from behind those heavy curtains. Defeated, she went to the other neighbors for answers. Mrs. Patel, who lived across the street, hesitated before speaking. "He's always been strange," she said. "Keeps to himself, but there were rumors about the last family who lived in your... They left in a hurry, said he scared them. No one knows why." Sarah's unease grew. She started noticing more odd things. Her mail would go missing, only to reappear days later, opened and resealed. The kids' toys, left in the backyard, would be moved to the edge of Mr. Grayson's property line. Once, Emma found her favorite doll with its eyes scratched out, lying in the grass near his fence. Sarah called the police, but they found no evidence of wrongdoing. "He's just an eccentric old man," they said. "Probably harmless." But Sarah wasn't convinced. She installed a security camera, pointing it at the backyard. The first night, the footage showed nothing but darkness. The second night, she caught something chilling. At 2:17 a.m., Mr. Grayson appeared in her backyard, standing perfectly still, staring up at Emma's window. He didn't move for 10 minutes, then vanished into the shadows. Sarah's blood ran cold. She showed the footage to the police, but Mr. Grayson claimed he was checking for prowlers and apologized, saying he didn't mean to scare anyone. The police let him off with a warning, leaving Sarah furious and helpless. The emotional toll was heavy. Emma stopped sleeping, clinging to Sarah at night. Liam started drawing pictures of a scary man with hollow eyes. Sarah felt trapped, her dream home now a prison of fear. She considered moving, but money was tight, and she didn't want to uproot her kids again. Instead, she reached out to the community, hoping someone could help. A neighbor, Tom, a retired electrician, offered to keep an eye on Mr. Grayson's house. He'd noticed odd deliveries, large, unmarked boxes arriving late at night, carried into the house by men who never spoke. One stormy night, the situation escalated. Sarah woke to the sound of her dog, Max, barking frantically. She checked the security footage and saw Mr. Grayson in her backyard again, this time digging near the fence. His movements were frantic, almost desperate, as he shoveled dirt under the pouring rain. Sarah called Tom, who rushed over with a flashlight. Together they confronted Mr. Grayson, who froze, his face pale and wild-eyed. "Get off my property!" he snarled, gripping the shovel like a weapon. Tom stood his ground, demanding to know what he was burying. Mr. Grayson fled into his house, slamming the door. The next day, Sarah and Tom reported the incident to the police, who finally took it seriously. They searched Mr. Grayson's backyard and found something horrifying: a small, locked box buried in the dirt. Inside were personal items: a locket, a child's hair clip, a worn-out bracelet, things that didn't belong to him. The police questioned Mr. Grayson, who claimed they were keepsakes from his late wife. But the items matched descriptions of belongings reported missing by the previous family, who lived in Sarah's house. As the investigation deepened, more disturbing truths came to light. Mr. Grayson had a history no one in the neighborhood knew about. Years ago, in another town, he'd been suspected of stalking a family, though no charges were ever filed. The police found hidden cameras in his attic, pointed at Sarah's house, and a journal filled with obsessive notes about her family's routines. The final entry read, "They'll never leave if I can help it." Sarah was devastated. The thought of being watched, her children's every move documented, made her sick. The neighborhood rallied around her, offering support and helping her feel safe again. Mr. Grayson was arrested, charged with stalking and invasion of privacy. The police suspected he might be linked to other unsolved cases. But for now he was gone, his house left empty and dark. The emotional scars lingered. Sarah struggled to rebuild her sense of security, but she leaned on her neighbors, who became like family. Emma and Liam slowly returned to their playful selves, though they never forgot the scary man. Sarah kept the security cameras, a reminder to stay vigilant. The neighborhood, once idyllic, now carried a shadow of caution, a reminder that evil can hide behind the quietest doors. What happened to Mr. Grayson? The trial revealed more than anyone expected. The items in the buried box were traced to multiple families, some from decades ago. Mr. Grayson's obsession wasn't just with Sarah's family. It was a pattern, a chilling need to control and terrify. He was sentenced to prison, but the mystery of his other keepsakes remains unsolved, leaving the community to wonder how many others suffered in